What's going on, guys? We are live. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? All right, I think we're good on this, and we're gonna kick things off in about 5 minutes. Let people hop on, do their thing. I'm gonna go ahead and here and share the live stream. All right, so let's go into it. How you guys doing? Let me know where you're plugging in from, what you have your eyes on the market with right now. It's some historic times right now. Some historic times. We're probably gonna start things off with crypto, all considering everything that's going on right now. In the meantime, I am sharing this stream right now. I just kind of dropped in the telegrams, the discords, all the places. Y'all already know. We are dangerously close to breaking all-time highs, and so it's sick. Honestly, it's super cool to see what's going on right now in the space overall. But okay, let's see here. I'm looking at the chat. What's up? I see we got Edmonton in the house. We got North Carolina, Washington, Toronto, Colombia. Only Spanish. Nah, today mostly English. La mayoría en inglés hoy. We definitely got some value here coming your way. All right, here we go. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Nigeria. What's up, Lagos? New York City, Arizona. Hello. What's up, Ray? My boy. What's good? All right, so let me see here. Let me get the screen up and running. You should be able to see it now. All right, perfect. So what's up, guys? How's everyone feeling? How we doing today? I'm stoked to be here. We have a lot to dive into. But first and foremost, want to kick things off here. Just saying welcome to everybody. Every Monday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We're live here and just diving into the markets, a little bit of everything, usually. Some forex, indices, crypto, which that'll be probably a big part of the conversation moving forward. I believe I'll start doing a weekly session, probably middle of the week, maybe like Wednesdays, just for crypto. It's just the demand is now very, very heavy, obviously, usually what happens, right? But with that being said, metals are skyrocketing as well. So a little bit of everything today. Probably kick things off considering we are one sneeze away from breaking all-time highs with Bitcoin, and I'll be answering questions here that are going on in the chat as well with in regards to crypto and the space as well. So it's going to be a good one. So 5 minutes after the hour, I think it's a great time to get started. So let's do it. So as you guys can see right now, it's we're nothing away right now. So it's actually amazing to see where we're at. So what's up, guys? Please Spanish cuando pueda un poquitito, pero la sesión en español fue ayer. Dímelo, Mago, what's up? I'm buying my dog a Ferrari now that Bitcoin is up. Sick. Does your dog have its own little like Doge crypto bag? It's only right. But all right, guys, I'm gonna start off with a little bit of crypto. We'll probably check in on it again, but we are seeing this is basically like breaking news almost. If we look back to what's going on in the space, and I think it's really, really important to talk about this, because if you're here to develop your trading skills, if you're here to get better, you're here to trade because you want to have more money, more freedom, part-time income, just a different type of income stream. There's other things you want to do in your life, right? And investing is right there with trading. Having both, I think, is really important. One thing over the years that I've really learned is that a lot of people just we think we're becoming financially literate, but we're really just learning how to trade. And those are really different things, and vice versa. You can be, fiscally savvy. You can know how to budget. You can have, some investments, but that also doesn't mean that you know how to trade either. And so I think it's really valuable to have those skills dialed in, and investing is part of the process. And I'm curious to know. Let me know in the chat if you consider yourself a trader and an investor, or just an investor. Let me know. I kind of want to get a good idea of what the community looks like, and obviously be honest. That usually helps. But guys, we are nothing. We're just, we're right there. We're nothing away. It could happen on the stream, which is so cool. So if this is you right now, and you're looking at this, and you're thinking to yourself, did I miss it? Like, did I miss the whole moment? I have good news for you. I have actually very good news for you. Fresh cut, I see you, G. A week. I'll probably do like tomorrow, the next day. Just trading and grow some capital and then invest. Okay. Well, all right. I think it's a good place to start there is if you're saving, because, there's money that you don't use that you have left over, then where does that go? Is it in stable coin? Is it in a dollar? Is it in a bank account? Is it in a high yield savings account? Maybe it's in crypto? So just always something to think about in regards to your savings is, okay, what percentage of your savings could just be invested? What's the purpose behind savings, right? Is it for long-term wealth? Is it for a rainy day? Is it an emergency fund? What is it for? I'm still new to all this. I've been doing this for 2 months. So I'm looking to become both. Amazing. I think we can just slide to 75K instantly. Cool. Okay, investor and trader. Awesome. So here's the reality. We're about to crack all-time highs with Bitcoin. Attention is starting to go up a little bit. Nothing too crazy. We're still not even at a point where the majority of people are talking about it. Your mom and your dad probably aren't bringing it up yet. Your grandma, probably not much. In your circle outside of your little trader investor bubble, still maybe you're starting to hear whispers, but nothing else. But the cool thing is this. Bitcoin is about to crack all-time highs. Cool. Here's the good news for every single person that's here on this stream right now. It's that you're not too late. And I'm going to explain to you why I have a lot of confidence behind that statement. Now, for those of you that trade indices, right? Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and cryptos have a chart that can relate to these things. Now, what you're looking at here, this chart is the total market cap. So this combines all of the coins, all of the tokens, just throws them all together, and here we have it. So this is that chart. What do you notice here? If you put all the coins together, we're nowhere near we're not anywhere near the high yet. We're actually, the market still needs to travel about 22-23% to get to all-time highs. So what does that mean? If you look at this, there's about 500 billion in market cap that still needs to appear for us to get to all-time highs. So just for all-time highs, we got room to go. But I have even better news for everybody here. I want you to look at this. I want you to look at total 3. Now, this chart that you're looking at, this is a reflection of all of crypto market cap, excluding, as you can see here with the watermark, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this is the entire crypto space minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. What do you notice? Oh, we got room to run. We got room to go. So look at this. Here, the market still needs to travel almost 70%. Almost 70%. So let's say, whatever. There's a good chance, these are altcoins, so anything that's not ETH and Bitcoin, overall the market as a whole can grow 70% to reach all-time highs. And that doesn't mean the market's going to stop right there, right? If we compare this to how it went the last time, here was the all-time high from late 2017, early 2018. From the highs, the market went on to over here. The market went on to go 216%. And that's from the peak, the previous peak to the other peak. And these are just altcoins. So it over tripled. But right now we're right here. So is there a guarantee that the market triples after it passes the highs? I don't know. There is no guarantee. Obviously not. We respond to what the market shows us. But if it were, let's just say it is to do that. Then let's just see where the market would be. All right. If this were to do the same thing, 200 and something % growth, where would the market go? Oh, I don't even have enough chart on here. Hold on. Let me just go ahead and make sure that you can even see this, because it's quite a move. All right, so if we were to have something similar happen, which again, we don't know if that's going to be the case. But let's just say something like that were to happen. And we were to hit a little over triple, right? 3.5 trillion. That's where the altcoin market would be. What does that mean? So from today, from right now, the market, for this to get to 3.5 trillion, we're talking about 420%. So over a 5x. So are you too late? I don't think so. I don't think so. But now is the time to definitely get educated. Now is the moment to definitely start to learn, start to research, you know, what makes sense, where is there value, underpriced, maybe utility, maybe a lot of attention, but now is the time for that, right? So I'm not here to give you tokens or anything. That's not really my goal here. But I wanted to give you awareness just on kind of where are we in the market so far. What can you expect if the market were to go to all-time highs again, which seemed to be a pretty likely experience. And then what else is happening? You know, should you just give up and say, oh, maybe I'll catch the next run? I don't think that's a good idea. I think there's plenty of room for this to work out. All right. So does that help you guys? Like, do you feel more comfortable, or at least you kind of have an awareness of where do you sit in the overall experience so far? I think sometimes we don't want to get dialed in. We don't want to get, you don't want to get in too late. I totally understand. And you also don't want to chase. So I wanted to make sure that everyone here has just a better understanding of where you are. Like, where am I in the market? Should I be getting in? What I will say is, when it comes to using leverage, so amplifying your purchasing power, that's something that you might want to be very calculated with. That is definitely a trader's role, not so much investing. Right? When you start to throw in leverage, you know, the 5X's, 10, 20, 100, whatever, you know, you're in the futures game, it can be riskier. You're exposing a lot more of your capital. You're not just, it's not owning a token, it's buying, you know, getting into positions with more money than what you actually have. So you just want to be really, really diligent with that. Because I know as soon as, trust me, when you go from, okay, I'm investing, you know, I'm putting a little bit of money into these tokens, I'm building a portfolio. But when your mind opens up to futures, to throwing a little leverage into the game, you just want to be making sure that you're making decisions based on your understanding, based on your plan, not based on what you want. And especially, you don't want to be the person that's adding more risk to their portfolio because you feel like you have to catch up. You feel like, oh man, you know, I'm running behind. We had all these guys that were buying in 2022 and 2023 and the beginning of this year, and here I am, you know, March 4th, and Bitcoin's about to break all-time highs, and here my ass is trying to buy the highs. So we want to be intentional, super intentional. But this is what I want to go over so far. In regards to crypto and Bitcoin, I wanted to kind of more talk about where are we in this space? Is there, you know, do you still have a chance? And everything that goes along with that. Looks like we got a slight little drop right before we cracked the highs. Classic. I wonder if it's going to really work for that. For that, 300 to 400 billion, would you call that a point of interest? And liquidity below that, thoughts on coming back for that? Where exactly are you talking about? Let me see, hold on. I want to make sure I answer that question because it was really specific. No. Can you name your top 10 low cap coins you're looking at? Not really. I'm not here. I don't want to show my own bags. Like, hey, this is what I'm buying. Maybe you should buy it too. I think that's just a different stream where I can be more intentional. So you said 300 to 400 billion here. I don't necessarily know if that's somewhere we'll get to anytime soon. Not necessarily. No, definitely not. I wouldn't wait for that. We've already reaccumulated here. It's yeah, I don't know how deep. I don't think the pullbacks will be that deep. Not for this run. Maybe eventually, you know, when everything fizzles back out again, like it did 2022 and the majority of 2023. But yeah, not definitely. I don't think we'll get under 400 anytime soon. Okay, so with that being said, we got movement this week. It's a busy week. We got USD news Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we have double news events on Wednesday and on Thursday. Of course, NFP on Friday. So it's a fun week. It's a week filled of movement, volatility. We have setups that are to be right now setting up, and then we'll probably see newer setups later on in the week. So do you ever see Bitcoin below 25? I'd have to look at it again. But this is where we're at. Now, I am going to start with something, and it's only because, actually, you know what? Okay, so there is yen news, right? There's yen news in a little over an hour and a half, in about 100 minutes. So my question for you is the following. Do you all want me to go over the yen first, since we have news in about 100 minutes, or leave that towards the end of the session, and then we can just go over the dollar bears first, the dollar pairs first, since it's going to be the majority of what we got going on over here. So y'all let me know what you want to see first here. But what I will say is take a look at this calendar and just have mental notes, whether it's alarms set, if you struggle with waking up, or just to realize, you know, based on how you're leveraging your risk management, your trade management, it is important to know when you can expect quite a bit of volatility. And this week, especially because we have NFP, unemployment claims, you know, Powell is going to shake things up. I'm not shocked that Powell is speaking right around when Bitcoin's about to crack all-time highs. Yen now. Trading news and live stream. Peru, ¿qué tal Peru? Dollar pairs first, then yen, dollars last, yen. All right, I want the yen. Cool. All right, so, and this will be quick. This will be fast too, because I already marked up yen pairs. And there's really only two setups that I like. So let's look at, first and foremost, we're going to start with, I'm going to just rifle through a lot of these and disqualify quite a few right to start. Now, if you start looking at the yen, ¿qué tal Colombia? If you start looking at yen, the highs here basically equal highs, quite a bit of liquidity. And then, because we marked this up during the New York session this morning. So we had liquidity for retail sellers, equal highs. But we also had a bullish trend line here. And so expected for at some point this to break through and clear up these retail buyers. Great. This for me is never an entry by itself. Just because there's liquidity doesn't mean I'm getting into the market. All this means is that usually they're great for exits. So I kind of know, okay, what can we be targeting? But because there's more liquidity down here, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point we make our way down further. But right now, I don't really have entry points. I can't really see where the market would be giving, you know, pivotal reversals, movements. We don't really have that. It kind of looks like we pop up and then drop here, but this goes up to make equal highs, so it's not a signature setup or anything. So AUD JPY, we can move on. From here, we have CAD JPY. Now this one I like. CAD JPY to me looks like it can be a setup. And there's one other yen pair that looks similar to this. And so I want us to have these in mind and see what it's going to be. But what we can see here, especially with news happening here, and right around 95 minutes, you can see that the market comes down, sweeps the low here, clears out equal lows. So the intention was to, you know, push price down here, but clearly that was not a decisive price. The market definitely does not want to stay down there. If it wanted to continue this bearish pattern, then it would have created stability at these levels instead of quickly just running away from these prices. So I look at this and I think, okay, clearly this was an intentional sell-off. The market then rebalances and then it consolidates before it continues to push higher. So it looks pretty classic to me. I kind of like this. And so from here, the market then gives us higher highs. We've seen quite a bit of sideways movement right now. Some more sideways movement. We're seeing support here building out as well. Here's the low of the day. So all day, just equal lows, some movement. So these are retail buys. So to me, I look at the spike down, the push to the upside. This to me is telling us, hey, we can reverse if price comes down to here. I like that. Plus we have if something like this were to happen, we do have some options, and I want to zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. But with CAD JPY, when we go to the higher time frame, what do we see here? And at any time, you guys can add. I want this chat popping. Like, y'all don't gotta be shy. This is for everyone to develop, to grow, to get better. We have a few other trade ideas that I'm gonna be diving into here, involving the dollar. So we have, when we look at CAD JPY, you could tell that this was building up retail buys right over here. Yeah. Just look, all these hits to these lows. Textbook. And then all of a sudden it sweeps these lows. So this looks like, oh, you know what? This might be a lower low. Problem with this is that when the market comes down and it takes all of these lows, it not only does it rebalances the market, right? It fills in balance, right? But price quickly comes right back up. So this wasn't a established low. By the end of the next day, this was coming right back up. And you can tell, especially when you zoom out and you look at the daily, you can see that the price by the end of the day started losing momentum, and by the next day we were already back in this structure. So maybe, I don't know if I don't really ever look at 2-day charts, but you can kind of tell, like, this came down but just to lose steam. And if we go to the weekly, you're going to see the weekly ended up leaving just a giant wick. So this low that came here was just so brief. That's why, to me, the higher time frames are showing us signs that CAD JPY isn't necessarily bearish. That what this wants to do is continue to rally even higher. So that's why right now I like this idea. Plus, even if we were to draw up here, kind of, okay, where's the market going over and over and over again? What do you see here? You can tell, like, this is also building up retail downtrend lines. So this is just luring in a lot of retail money. I think we can drop. I would love for us to drop down first and then work our way higher. I think we'll end up having a higher risk to reward if this is the scenario, which I don't know for sure. But yeah, this is the idea here for CAD JPY. Like I mentioned earlier, there is one other thing that could play out, and I want to put them side by side in order for us to have a better perspective. So here's CAD JPY. I will send a chart of this individually, but I'm not necessarily saying that this is technically ready to roll. Because as you all know, when it comes to really trading anything, I like to look at the whole game as like one giant puzzle. So CAD JPY isn't really just moving on its own, especially during an Asian session. The yen is influencing the movement more than anything. And guess what? There are other pairs that involve the yen. So I want to know, okay, what are the other pairs doing that may influence something like this? Is there another setup that looks just as nice, or if not better? And so if we go through this, CHF JPY isn't really giving much. Euro JPY, we're not seeing the same setups. You have GBP JPY, still not giving good setups. And then you have NZD JPY. And this is one that I think does also give potential. It's just not the best. You can see it sweep the lows, leave some imbalance, and then also leave some liquidity. So what I want to do is I want to split my screen and pull up CAD JPY versus NZD JPY and see if maybe one setup looks a bit better than the other. But remember, there's news in 90 minutes. So that's going to give us a much better outlook on what's going on here with NZD JPY. Okay, so If we look at this and we look kind of side by side, what stands out to everybody here right now? They look kind of similar, right? They look pretty similar. So the real difference is going to be basically which one's going to approach our area last. Which one's going to have a better chance of staying inside of the structure. So I look at this. You can use Fibonacci. You can just have your alert set up. And then once the market gets to these zones, then you already have a decision of which one should I be taking. I'm leaning CAD JPY, but only time will really tell. So here's CAD JPY versus NZD JPY. The other thing that we can keep in mind when we're looking at something like NZD JPY is also its higher time frame setups. So NZD JPY, massive drops as well. Already kind of working its way down more than anything. But I'm going to have these side by side. That way you guys can use them to make the most informed decision. But here is NZD JPY. All right. So let me go ahead and drop this in the chat. No inducement on NZD JPY. CAD JPY produced liquidity that it can sweep. It was a much bigger for sure. All right, so here we have CAD JPY versus NZD JPY. Whoa. All right, perfect. I thought I saw a name on here that I recognized. Okay, Carlos. Cool. So let's move on, right? That's what we got for yen. We'll wait and see. Don't forget to use your alerts so that you're not just like constantly staring at the chart. All right. So we can move on from the yen and let's look at some dollar pairs. Let's see what's going on here. Last week we were looking at possible buy scenarios on metals. Metals were just on a rampage. Like mellow pullbacks, aggressive pushes. Mellow pullbacks, and then just full sends only. So let's see what's unfolding now, right? Now, when I was looking at this, yeah, metals have been just running. When I was looking at this, so here we'll start with AU. For me, the majority of the dollar pairs, AU, NZD USD, Euro USD, they look really similar. It looks like they're just kind of building up a lot of liquidity. So right now we have retail sells getting into the game, and then we also have retail buys just based on these equal lows. That's with AUD USD. If you look at NZD USD, it's going to be basically the same thing, but actually way more liquidity. This is so consolidated. So consolidated. Take a look at this. I'm like surprised. I feel like this thing had drawings on there, but they're not really showing up. All right, so check this out. Oh, here you go. So you can see it right here. Equal highs. There's a lot of retail sells in the market. And then you can see equal lows, a lot of retail buys in the market. So what could you possibly do with NZD USD? Nothing. It would be guessing. If you're trading inside of this, it's just you guessing. And that's it. You're just bored and you're guessing. This shows, so you see sellers, buyers on NZD USD. So nothing to really do here. And overall, the market on these, we've been bullish with these pairs. So maybe NZD USD has just another pull down. before it starts to run. Hey Mike, I'm looking GU. Are you watching bullish moves? I will go over that within basically 2 minutes here. Euro USD, similar. A lot of liquidity. We were able to sneak into a 2.7 risk reward buy a couple of weeks ago, last week. And then, I was thinking this was going to keep going higher, but first it wanted to build up more liquidity down here. So we did see a quick push to the downside before it continued to rally. However, what it did was it just left behind more money. And then we're slowly working our way up, which, like I said, right now, a lot of these dollar pairs are just leaving these liquidity zones behind, which means that there's sells are building up here. Very predictable stop losses above these areas. Same thing goes here. Retail buys are building up in these zones. Very predictable places for stop losses. Let's see what happens here. So Euro, I don't have a decision to make here. So all of a sudden, AU, NU, EU, all no trades. So what do we do? Do nothing. You do nothing there. And then finally we get a setup. And this is GBP USD. And we have 2 setups, actually, not just one, but 2. And here, I'm going to break down why, and then we'll go from here. But so take a look at what's happening here. Take a look at what's going on. So first, we have some interesting moves. Now on Thursday, we see a spike up, which clears out retail sellers, and it comes crashing down. Once it gets down to here, it kind of looks like, oh, maybe we're going bearish now, right? We're seeing lower lows. The market's ready to keep trading its way down. And then all of a sudden it starts to pull up, and you see the sweep of the high. So I think a lot of people were looking to sell at GU, but the reason I didn't, because it looks like the setup, the reason I didn't was because the way in which price traded down here, that's not giving me signs that it's bearish. This is saying to me, hi, we came all the way down to these levels just to liquidate retail buyers. We have zero intention of actually trading down here. Here's my massively bullish candle to show you that I don't want, that GU is not and will not be priced down there for very long. So when price comes down, we take out these lows, we take out these lows. All the buyers that were building up the last week of February, they're gone. So we can tell that the move here, very intentional, captures retail buys, peace, and then off it goes. And now what we're seeing is structure has absolutely flipped to the bull side. Now we're seeing the market look bullish. And that's why I'm looking for possible buy scenarios here, which we can actually extend even further now that this is, that looks like this is at least where it's at in terms of the highs. So Mike, do you take the 50% in the first TP? No, not at all. That's not my style. So here's really where the market starts to drop off. I don't just look at one time frame. I go through the different time frames, and I get to find more precision, understanding where does the market really start to, push down or push up. Where is that really in the space? And so here is where the market sweeps the low, gives us higher highs, and then just trades up. So I'm waiting for pullbacks down to these levels before any buys, and then we can now work our way even higher. What I will add now is I have 2 exits here for you. The intraday exit, not my exit, but it could be your exit for multiple reasons. One, time under in a trade. The longer that you're in a trade, statistically speaking, the less likely you are to actually collect anything from it. Because if the longer you're in it, the further you want it to go, and well, it's harder for it to go in your direction for longer time. So there's an intraday exit here, which would be a 2 risk reward. Fantastic. This is especially for people who struggle holding trades. If you're very comfortable in drawdown, but not so much in profit, that's a great place for profit. If you're just building confidence in your understanding, then you want to have those personalized exits. But I did do it here based on intraday because I know many of you you're kind of looking to get in and get out in the same day. I think that's a great place. Now, in terms of exits, earlier the market hadn't quite given these highs yet when I drew this up. So in terms of exits, I love to use either previous, just previous levels as exits, but also Fibonacci, in my experience, has given some really great exits just using extensions. So in my mindset, if we're going to go down to near the 886, 786, then we're probably going to extend at least to this 14.6, 27.2 zone. And especially if we're going to get reversals off of a higher time frame area that I have marked up here, it could actually probably go even higher. But for now, I'm going to lock it in right here. 7.5R would be extending to right around the 14.6. Could be a great play. So TP swing, it's no longer 6R. This has now been upgraded due to just the development of what's happening in the market. But what I want everyone to do is I want you to exit based on what you already know about yourself. You want to exit based on what you can actually follow consistently, not just what I do. So here is GBP USD for the buy. And then I will also show you what I'm looking for the sell. Mike, what if GU reacts from 780 region for the buy? Then it's gone. then I'm not in it, and it is what it is. I can't do anything else. You could enter higher if you want. You can split your entries. You can have an entry with a wider stop loss. You can have an entry with bigger stop loss. Completely up to you. Now, I want to make sure that we see the higher time frame as well, which is where the sell comes into play. So here, we're looking at price action that hasn't fully mitigated since February 2nd. We had a sweep of the highs and a massive drop. So you have a smart money buy here, followed by an imbalance. The market, at least I think, will fill in balance before it drops. And we can see reversals off of this area. So that is really what I'm waiting for here with this idea for the sells. Depending on what happens first, the exit may or may not be shorter or longer. It just is going to depend. So here's GU, at least for the sells as well. I guess here's both. All right. So the buy to sell or the sell to buy. So GBP USD, 2 scenarios. Here we are. Awesome. If Jeff Bezos just surpassed Elon Musk becoming the world's richest person. Cool. Yeah, Tesla stock is going down, so I mean, kind of makes sense. It's bound to happen. Let's see. Tesla stock is, I'm sure Tesla stock is getting ready to rip. soon anyways. Usually when we see alerts like this, it's setting up for some big things. Let's see here. Okay, so if I'm looking at Tesla stock, it's at pretty good levels, honestly. Yeah, honestly, Tesla's at pretty decent areas. Wouldn't be fully shocked if we start to run sometime soon. Here you saw the sweep of the lows. Market runs here. Markers to mitigate, pull back. It's possible. But either way, there's, in my mindset, right now, there's really no point in buying stocks because crypto will outperform any stock by a long shot. So, yeah, not quite there. Maybe later. Maybe if, crypto bull run is over and stocks have readjusted themselves, then maybe. But for now, we're chilling. So that was GU. Mike, if the GU is still not in the buy zone, US30 probably short all ages session. I can look at it. I don't necessarily think those two are like hand in hand like that, DMA low buy Tesla. I'm not buying any stocks right now. I feel like that would be just like you saying I would rather just make less money. That's what, like, I feel like I would want to, but I'm literally just thinking if I were to buy stocks right now, it would just be just because, like, you know what? Let me make less money. Yeah. Let me make less money and buy stocks instead of crypto. And I just can't. I don't see why I would do that. Okay, so we have two perspectives here with USD CAD and with USD CHF. And the way I looked at USD CAD and, well, both of them, USD CAD and USD CHF, they had very similar setups. And so I wanted to make sure that I could make the right choice if I were to sell somewhere here. Someone asked if I like XRP. It's a great stable coin, guys. Some of the best stable coins out there. All right, so here's what happened with USD CAD. USD CAD swept the highs, came crashing down, confirmed these lower lows, and then it's starting to work its way higher. Okay, so the difference is I want to be mindful of where USD CAD is at compared to USD CHF and maybe even USD JPY. So this is pretty close. It's like at around a 71% pullback. Well, what is USD CHF doing? Did that get to a zone yet? Does it make more sense maybe to sell that instead of USD CAD? So let's take a look at what's happening here. Oh yeah, okay. I was wondering if anyone was going to catch that. So putting these side by side, looking at USD CAD versus USD CHF, it just looks like now USD CAD is more excited to get to its zone than USD CHF. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put these side by side. And same thing, just my rule as always. I'm just going to trade whichever one of these correlating pairs is lagging. Whichever one gets to the zone last, that's going to be the one that I trade. Because in my experience, it's the setup that's least likely to get stopped out. So, okay. So here we have it. USD CHF, and then we have USD CAD. It looks like USD CAD's already kind of there. Okay. Let's see here. All right, so check this out. Let's straighten this out a little bit. AUD USD is dropping on the move. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, AUD. I mean, it's not something I don't have anything I'm waiting for with AUD USD. So take a look at this, guys. An easy way to kind of see, okay, which one makes more sense for me to enter, or which one should I stay away from? Use your fib tool, right? Mark up the structure. You can see USD CHF is in between 50 and 618. Okay. You have now USD CAD that's approaching 786. It's well above 618, right around a 71 level. So looks like USD CAD is kind of pushing higher first. So to me, it looks like USD CHF might have just a better chance of selling off in the zone. So as of right now, I would rather take sells with USD CHF. Let me zoom out a little bit. Please, can you talk about DarwinX account? I heard you talking about it on your Spanish session yesterday. So it's basically like a track history builder. And you can see more information on that in the description of this video, but it's honestly super sick. You build a track record on there, and then every month they rate your trading just based off of performance and risk management. It's not a prop firm. There's no challenges. It's just like a place where you build a track record with real live market conditions, and you're doing that to ultimately it's basically almost become a trader for like a hedge fund. It's kind of what it looks like, where your track history eventually opens up to a pool of investors, and then but you have to go and qualify for all of that. So yeah, that's what I would look at. What's up, Nick, man? Good to see you on here. Do USD CAD and USD CHF typically follow each other? They can. There's like moments that they can. If you guys want to have a good look at correlations, let me drop a link for you all here in the chat so you can see which ones kind of flow together better on certain time frames. So like if I pulled up USD CAD right now, let me click on it here. You guys can see it better. Oh, I was mega zooming. All right, so here's USD CAD. You can see USD CHF about a 75% correlation. On the daily, if we were to go to the 1 hour, it might be higher or lower. 67%. So they correlate not like 100%, but decently. So yeah, you guys can pull up here. It's correlations, and you can kind of see which ones move hand in hand together. Okay, so outside of that, yeah, I would take USD CHF. And then depending on how this moves, if this goes up here first, then I would actually extend this out a little bit further personally. Here is the intraday exit. So if you like to be in and out of the market, if you just don't enjoy the experience of being in a trade for too long, then this is the exit that I would take. So TP. TP to our R, intraday, exit. And then if you want to hold it a little bit longer, it could still be, this might still be intraday, could be swing. And this is now closer to almost a 4 risk reward, which would be right here. And then this is TP 3.8 RR. I will just say it could be a swing. So this would be the idea. Now, at the end of the day, what matters is what happens when it really happens. Because now look at this. This just USD CAD just lost a whole bunch of momentum and is almost back at the 618 again. So like this could totally change. That's why I'm going to give you both. And the caveat, right? The important detail is like you just have to be willing to be on it and just wait, be patient. Okay. All right. So here is USD CHF versus USD CAD. And then here is the chart. Please wait for market to show which pair is lagging. That's the pair I would enter. Okay, there it is. All right, we're almost there, guys. We've gone through basically all the majors now. We started off with some crypto. So we've gone through it. Quick little rundown. I looked earlier. I didn't see really any setups with like oil or anything either. AUD, there's 0 setups there as well. So I want to pull up here. I'll check oil super quick again, just in case there might be something there. I know we have our natural gas play that's running right now that we can take a look at. And then I know gold, right? You guys are, the chat's like, gimme gold. I want to see it. And look at her. She's beautiful. Still doing what she's been doing, which is going up. That's it. My entry for something like this is like 600 pips away. It's far. So I don't see a distribution quite yet with gold. I don't see any abundantly clear ideas. Nothing. Not to sell, not yet at least. So right now, only thing I'm seeing with gold is kind of a little trend line building up here. That's it. So liquidity building up there. Wouldn't be surprised if we get another pump. I'd have to see us get all the way down here on gold before we were to take anything. So yeah, we got something going on right here. It's not it for me yet. Maybe a little spike up here, but it's just not worth it. So this is gold. I think that maybe we get over here. I just don't know if it's going to be this week, but you also can't really predict the volatility of gold sometimes, because it'll do things like this where it just goes, 500 pips in a day. No big deal. So that's what we have with gold. And then silver is looking similar, like really similar. So I'm gonna split my screen here between gold and silver so you guys can see the difference. And if the market would pull back and give us some like massive drops, then we can have a better outlook on what's going on here. All right. Here we go. All right, so you have silver. Hold on. This thing is bugging out. Silver and gold. They look really, really similar. I think silver is dropping a bit more to start off, but as you can see, they're really similar. And again, it's really simple. Trade the one that gets there last. That's the one that's most likely to keep the structure and to actually play out, especially now that they're on the same page. It just kind of makes the most sense. All right, here's gold versus silver. Take the lagger. All right, cool. What else we got, guys? What else we got? From here, if we can take a look at oil real quick. Oil is actually like at an area right now, like literally right now. But the reason I won't take a buy here, which I know people will, and it might work, it might. I won't because I kind of see liquidity here. Like it's close enough to argue whether these are equal lows or whether this is just an accumulation. I'm not really sure. Price, gave us some highs, but quickly lost all that momentum. So, I mean, how bullish are we really? And then the market here, oil did leave some liquidity behind. So maybe it wants to get there. For me, if it's not abundantly clear, I don't need to be in the market. So I'm staying out, but I see it. I see the spike down, the imbalance, the highs. I see it all. I get it. But I don't think I'm going to take it. Now, going from here, we have natural gas. Guys, good job. Right now, we've been holding this for about a week, maybe 5 days now. Almost a week. Yeah, almost a week hold. Anybody in natural gas still? I'm curious to see who's got it. I'm curious to see who's still running this one. Might be the longest trade some of you have ever held. I think we're on our way there. What I would love to see is swaps start to pay us instead of take more money. But we're on the road. We're on the road to fill the rest of these imbalances and continue our way up. So Seth, you're still in there. Awesome, man. Did you take this on what did you take, ETF or something, or did you do it on margin? I'm curious, because I know you guys come from an options background, so I'm curious what you guys did there. But cool. I think it's going to be a great setup. Rarely do we see setups that are at like 4-year lows. Yeah, you're in it in futures. Nice. So cool. Forward futures margin. Amazing. Good stuff there at this point. Make sure you're break even and things like that. No re-entries there, guys. So if you're in it, you're in it. And we're going to just be kind of following up with it week by week. The peso. Mexican peso here. I don't know how many of you are trading the peso, but el peso. There is a nice sweep of the low, imbalance, higher high. Yeah, I think we can see a good idea here. This would also be another swing trade. So this is what I have with the peso. And it might be something that can trigger this week for sure. So USD, MXN, here's the setup. This is definitely based on a 4-hour time frame. So it's a wider stop, but it's worth it. I thought there would be a chance that we see Bitcoin break all-time highs during this session, but she didn't. She got close though. We got to 68,849 and 84 cents, a little over $150 away. got super, super, super close. But it is what it is. ETH still has some room. ETH usually breaks the highs after Bitcoin, as you've seen it happen plenty of times. And then, guys, we'll wrap up with this. We'll wrap up with some indices, right? So here, we saw US 30 drop to start the day for it to rally. So let's see if I can pull this up. I wonder why the OBS, I wonder why YouTube makes my stream so much slower than when I'm privately streaming on our platform. Oh, it's a setting? Ah, got it. So cool. I just don't know what I'm doing. That's all. So yeah, US 30 pulled up pretty well. Right now, it's kind of squeezing. Some of you probably took this idea. This swept some lows, rallied to make higher highs. We saw US 30 get back into this area and play off of this level. I didn't take this. And the reason I didn't take this was because I was looking at NAS and I couldn't tell because NAS was looking like it was about to go melt and it was not anywhere near its lows. So it looked like it could keep pushing the market down. It didn't end up doing that. And then US 30 ended up running. So for now, this was kind of something that I was looking to take. But the problem with this buy idea that I drew up earlier is that we didn't hold any highs. Like every time we went up, we quickly lost momentum. So I'm not sure if I'm going to take these buys yet. I need to reevaluate by looking at NAS right now. And NAS has just been working its way down. Slowly but surely. And here we have a setup as well for NAS buys. So we're going to go ahead and do what we do, which is we're going to put these next to each other, look at them and say, okay, which one makes the most sense? Which one's the one that's most likely to respect structure? So let's split the screen here. Got US 30 that's going to be on the left. And on the right-hand side, we have NASDAQ. It's supposed to split screen. There we go. All right, here's NAS. All right, perfect. Here we go. So comparing the two, NAS here made a massive sweep of the low before it slowly recovered, and then we had the continuation. NAS is still working its way back down. We haven't gotten anywhere near this area. US 30 is actually a bit more bearish at the moment. So I think I'm staying away from US 30 buys still. And I think because if you look at this, you know, prices are already down here while NAS has more room to run to the downside. So I think we're going to see some good buys on NASDAQ. This is a massive drop off. There's money push this thing down. So we should see some reversals in this area so that this thing can go back up. So in this zone, you could either, you know, have a wide stop loss, take a swing at it, or see if smaller time frames give you shifts of momentum here to the downside. I was waiting for some sells earlier on NAS. I think we maybe missed this train here. So I am going to focus more on just NASDAQ at the moment. En español, la sesión que hice ayer es en español. Si quieres verla, está grabada en la sesión en vivo. Ahí la puedes ver. So cool. NAS is the chart of choice here. this is the idea that I'm looking for. So let me zoom in for you. And it's a massive zone, so I do think we can see some change of character in there. Do you compare them to S&P? Yeah, you definitely can. I already looked at this, so just to save time, I won't. Usually what happens is that you see S&P is kind of just splitting the difference. So you'll see it just trade in between whatever they're both doing. So something like this, I think we could see with NASDAQ. All right, perfect. So yeah, there you have it, guys. We got a whole bunch of setups. Hold on. Oh, that's not what I was meant to do. I think I just gave myself a heart. Not what I meant to do. But what I will say is this, guys. Make sure that you have the next stream lined up for yourself. Hold on here. How do I move these? That wasn't supposed to be a... Where did these emojis come from in this chat? How do I get rid of the emoji button? Oh, no. Oh, there's too much going on now. Oh, we've lost it here. That was thunder. It's getting spooky. Spooky hours around here. So let me go ahead and resend this because it's not. That's NAS 100. Here we go. All right. So there you guys have it. I can delete this one. So guys, make sure that you are ready for the next session here. Next Monday, you can make sure you get notifications just so you remember. I know we all have a million things going on in our head at literally all times. So that you remember, click the little button so that you're notified for it. And you guys are plugging in here. I'll go ahead and drop the link to next week's session on here as well. And then throughout the week, every morning we're live together and we're overviewing the entire market, mostly indices and USD pairs. My focus is definitely not crypto in the mornings, at least not on the live streams. So yeah, make sure you guys are tuning in there as well. Stay plugged in. We started the session off heavy with crypto, and that's for a reason. Do not sleep on that. Do not sleep on that by any means. But yeah, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to next week's session. And there's a little button that says notify me. I would click that button if I were you. So here's the link to next week's session. It's in the chat. And I have a question for you guys just to wrap things up here. Since the beginning of the week, I like to focus on psychology, the mindset, the development, to have just the right perspectives, right? To have the right conditions. I think all of that is really important. And so often we just kind of throw ourselves at the market. We just throw ourselves at what we just like, okay, here are the charts. Let's make some money. Let's hit some goals, percentages, etc. And so I've done psychology mindset sessions every Sunday for like 6-7 years now. And what I would want to do for everyone is I want to get your opinion. Would a, trading mindset psychology kind of newsletter be of value to you guys? That way you're just getting information like every Sunday before the markets are open. You're getting just some perspective on your journey, the process. In general, obviously it'd be free. So I kind of want to see if that would be of value, if it's worth me doing it or not. So you guys let me know what you think about that. I feel like it would be of value just to start the week off right every Sunday. So you guys let me know here if that's something you would want. But yeah, keep plugging in, guys. There's a chance that there's a video or two that launches in between the next live streams. But most importantly, guys, surround yourself with the right people right now. Get your ears around the right information, the right application of information, in your communities, in your Telegrams, your Discords, your iMessage, your group chats. Like, make sure you have a good pulse on what's going on in the financial markets, in the crypto space, and make sure you're listening to people that are not incentivized to shield their own tokens, or that are just actually not that experienced. So always vet the information that you're taking in, because sometimes, people are just doing some funny things out there. But yeah, guys, thank you for your time. It would be great. Thanks. All right, cool. I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, so for next week, should have that ready for y'all, and then we'll be good to go. But peace out, family. I'll see y'all next week, and make sure you're just plugging in to the value, because there's a lot to take advantage of, and right now is not the time to be distracted. Dial in, lock in. I'll see you guys next week.